Okay, and welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna transition out of this and into the title screen again, to be honest. Hello everyone, it's me in person on camera. That's a rare occasion, but for this week, instead of doing Good Morning Source Gaming, I thought, like, let's wrap up Pikmin week, right? Because Pikmin week, Pikmin month even, because I've been playing every single game in the Pikmin franchise back to back in the build up to Pikmin 4, and Pikmin 4 is here now, and I've actually beaten it, and the review for that is also on Source Gaming. But to end it off, I wanted to do a stream of some kind for Pikmin. Initially, I was going to do it a bit earlier this week, but then I decided we'll do it instead of Good Morning Source Gaming this Sunday, you know, the usual streaming time slot. And what I wanted to do, I was thinking of a lot of things I could potentially stream, and in the end I settled on doing the Olimar crash logs, which are effectively a remake of Pikmin 1 in this game with a 15-day time limit instead of a 30-day time limit, but otherwise it's the same. And it's like a proper test of your Dandori skills. And I thought, yeah, let's see how fast I can do it. Let's really test my Dandori capabilities. So before we start, I'm just going to listen back briefly to how I sound. Give me 2 seconds, just making sure the audio is all alright. So just going to do this. You might hear me talking. A test of your Dandori skills. And I thought, yeah, let's... okay, I'm going to... I think I will turn down the background volume ever so slightly, but only slightly. And... yeah, I think we're good to go. So, if you hear anything while I'm streaming, like, it could be another member of Source Gaming just jumping in, because I'm just vibing. It is the usual streaming time after all, so if anyone feels like hanging out, they can do. Let's not waste any more time, let's go in. So, as I mentioned, I've already beaten this game once. It took me 54 in-game days, 38 hours, and I got everything. But for... oh, well, I don't want to be in the Plunder Palace. Let's get back to the hub. I think I was in here recording footage afterwards, so bear with me as we get to... I should have checked this before I actually started. Yes. Right. Turn to surface. Skip. Yes. Plunder Palace is very cool, though. I mean, I believe it's like... it's not a remake of an area in Pikmin 2, but it's the same sort of biome as one that was in Pikmin 2. Which is neat. A lot of the caves in this game are actually just sort of retellings or redoings of the Pikmin 2 levels of the same, like, with slightly different names. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, we'll just say yes to that. Because I am going to end the day immediately. Oh, nice. So, a lot of people have bought this game. I wonder how many people it's their first Pikmin game. But I know, like even my parents bought this game and have been playing it and have been messaging me asking for advice on certain areas. And I don't think it's their first Pikmin game, but it might be. I don't remember them playing Pikmin 3. Because, I mean, I grew up with Pikmin 1 and 2, so they may have played it back in the day. But anyway, Pikmin 4 seems to be doing really well. It's the Switch effect. All the games being released on the Switch are doing exceptionally well. I do wonder, I know people call it the Switch effect, but I've been thinking a lot recently, and I wonder how much of it is actually more like the social media effect. social media was obviously around in the Wii U, but the Wii U also just underperformed in general, so it's not really a good, like, show of data. But the Switch obviously has sold a lot more, and then social media, a lot more people are talking about it. It's easier to spread the word on stuff. So I wonder if that's caused games to just do better in general. Just a thought I had. Anyway. Yes. Let's tell me the tale again. So I already did this once because I did it during my review, and it took me. Let's see, it gives you 15 days, so it took me like 11 days. But we're gonna go all the way back. 11 days and how many hours? 2.5 hours. So I want to try and beat that this time. So we're gonna start right from the beginning. Yep, that's fine, because we're gonna beat it. We're gonna be efficient, and this stream is just gonna go on until I beat this. So it could be an hour-long stream, or it could be like a 2.5 hour-long stream. Who knows? So just gonna put a quick message in the thingy in case anyone who. I just tag people in case. Cool. So, I called it a remake of Pikmin 1 in my review, because that is basically what this is. But obviously these aren't the same areas as Pikmin 1. It's more like a reimagining of Pikmin 1. Olimar is stranded on an unknown planet. See, like he's trying to recover his spaceship. He's got 15 days instead of 30. But that's it. Like, it's effectively skipped the day where he meets the Pikmin. But other than that, that's what this is.
Hello, it's me, the real Olimar.
Whoa, Olimar, you're here to watch me.
Yeah.
Whoa, what are you doing? I thought you were stranded.
I got all these Pikmin, I don't know what to do.
How's it going, Colin?
Pretty good.
Nice, it's always good to hear.
Yeah. I wish I had more to add to this bit, but I don't.
Have you been playing Pikmin 4 at all?
No. I only did half of Shin. What was it called? Shin Barbenheimer?
Yeah, Shin Barbenheimer. Yeah.
I only did one half of that.
Oh no!
And I think if I talk about that one half, I would technically be scabbing. So I won't talk about that one half, even though this is a gamer channel.
I technically only did one half of it as well, but one of the games and one of the movies.
Was it the other? Was it the not Barbenheimer part of that half?
No, it wasn't. I haven't done the
shocker.
part.
I was gonna say I've actually heard really good things about it's Shin Kamen Rider, the one that just came out, right? Yeah. Because I know Shin Ultraman was like, what, 3 months ago or something?
Yeah, something like that.
It was fairly close. I gotta check those out.
Take this thing down, no fear. Get more pain in the bum instead of
Yeah.
Nah, I only watch Barbie, and then play Pikmin.
Hell yeah.
I thought about watching Oppenheimer, but I wasn't feeling the mood of sitting through like a 3-hour movie about atomic bombs. So I left.
Oh man. I won't say anything, cause
Right.
but go check out my letterbox, I guess. That's how that works out. I mean, I'll say this much: both are good. Both are. I really enjoyed myself.
Nice, good. I quite enjoyed Barbie. I thought it was funny. So
yeah,
I had a good time with that one.
I mean, like, I guess that's like the good takeaway is that all these properties ended up being like good.
Yeah.
Feels so weird calling them properties, but But like, yeah, like it's just like, oh wow, like, none of them are bad.
None of them are actually bad movies.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
Love to see it. I saw a weird movie last night called Stunt Rock, where
I've never heard of it.
it's from 1978, and the plot, the creation of this film was literally the like guy was in the just in the shower, and he was like, what if I put stunts and rock music in one movie? He's like, I think the kids are gonna dig it, and so that is just the whole movie. It's just a collection of stunts and then sometimes rock music.
Sure, why not? I've heard worse premises for a movie.
Yeah, it's like one of the most literal things I've ever.
Alright, so my first day is going quite slow here. Clearly, I'm not a speedrunner, but I have 30 Pikmin now, so.
It's good. You got a whole platoon, a whole squadron of.
A whole squad of red Pikmin. I need to find all these shit pieces. Otherwise, Olimar will die. You don't forget that, it's not worth it. We're gonna tackle this thing. Keep forgetting that I have to charge. Die!
Very cool. Very epic.
Have you played any of the Pikmin games, actually?
Yeah, I played. I don't think I finished them, but I played. Oh, whoops! I had the stream open and I fucking jump scared myself with my own voice. It's like the fuck happened there.
Yeah.
I played like a whole bunch of Pikmin 1 and 2 on the Wii. Because those are the cool versions.
Yeah, they're the motion control conversions. I actually don't think the Switch version of Pikmin 1 and 2 does the motion control as well. I
Oh, that sucks.
I guess that's to be expected, given it's not the same setup.
That sucks, given that it felt really good.
Yeah, like, I ended up turning motion controls off, I think, because I could tell it was like very subtly messing with how I was playing.
Yeah.
And it was annoying me.
And then I think I got... Remember, like, a year or two into the Wii U's launch, like, Nintendo was already getting pretty desperate?
Yeah.
So, like, if you bought, like, a 3DS, they just gave you Wii U games for free through Club Nintendo.
Yeah, I remember that. I got Monster Hunter for that.
I believe the two games I got were Pikmin 3 and Game & Wario.
Ah, fair. I should have got Game & Wario. I still have never played that game. I just got
me neither.
Because I thought, well, you know what? I've never played a Monster Hunter game. Why don't I try it out for the first time?
Well, yeah, that version of Try is really good. There's been like 19 Monster Hunter games since, and they're all significantly less janky than classic Monster Hunter. That I think people forget that like Monster Hunter 3 came out on the fucking Wii of all things.
Yeah, it did.
And people were like, actually, no, this rocks.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who really liked the Monster Hunter 3 in a way. I'd heard about Monster Hunter because I knew someone who had played it, but I'd never played it myself until like, and then because I had the chance to play it, you know, for free on the Wii U, I was like, hell yeah, why not? Let's give it a go, see what it's like.
Yeah.
And it was alright. I don't know if the first Monster Hunter I really enjoyed was Rise, I think.
Rise is like pretty cool.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna move the base over here, and we're gonna get ourselves some yellow Pikmin.
Ooh. Did they put 3 on the 3DS?
Yeah, they put 3 on the 3D. I have it on both 3DS and Wii U, and I'm pretty sure I got both of them for free.
I was gonna say, because I feel like I remember them releasing 3, and then like no, it was like the same day they announced 3 coming to 3DS. They were like, also 4 is coming to the 3DS. And I was like, all right, okay.
Sure. We're going all the way on the Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and I remember that was a big deal because everyone was like, they're skipping the feed out.
Yeah, because the PSP was the Monster Hunter machine
Yeah.
until 3 got announced. And then it was just like, oof, oh no. Sony fans in shambles.
The second Nintendo made a handheld that could do PS2 graphics. It was all those.
Yeah. There we go, another ship part, awesome stuff. So that's 2 ship parts, that's what you want to aim for. You want to average 2 a day in order to beat this.
Hell yeah.
But obviously I want to get as many as possible in a day, because I want to beat it as soon as possible.
I might in a week or two rummage on down to the local library and see if they've got a cool copy of Pikmin 4 on the shelves.
It's a really good game. It's actually one of my
I could imagine
candidates at the moment. And there's only like 3 games on that list.
And people said Nintendo had nothing this year for the Switch.
Damn it. I was hoping maybe it survives that. Yeah, no, Pikmin 4 and Tears of the Kingdom, and then Pizza Tower is my only other Game of the Year candidate.
I don't want to I mean like there's definitely new hardware coming at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, off in the future, regardless. But it is very funny how the last, 3 years has been like, Nintendo's got nothing this year.
And then they have something.
Like, in February, March, we're always like, what the fuck? They got nothing. It's not their schedule's blank. And then now it's like, almost August, and they have 2 Game of the Year candidates.
Yeah, potentially a 3rd one if anything else. Super Mario 1
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah, that too. Also, like, I mean, Metroid Prime Remastered's pretty epic.
Yeah, it is. I kind of don't want to call it a Game of the Year candidate because it's technically a Game of the Year from a different year.
It's a remaster, but it's a brilliant remaster.
It's a really good remaster. I really hope Prime 2 is also coming.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't say anything about it, especially given that the rumor is that it's just kind of a straight port.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's the same sort of thing as Metroid Prime 1 remaster was, to be honest.
Yeah, that would be the dream.
Yeah, like, if it's just graphics, like, they can hire an outside studio to help with that. I mean, most of these ports are being done by outside studios. It's just a sort of unusual situation with Prime 1 being done by... that was done by Retro.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't, like... Those old Metroid Prime games look good enough that I feel like they could just, like, put the original graphics in the new, like, the newer engine with the newer lighting and everything. Mm-hmm. They would still look pretty good.
Yeah, but I've been spoiled
I think that's
by...
yeah, exactly. The jump in fidelity in remastered is, like crazy. That looks like a brand new video game. It's, like, one of the best looking games on the Switch.
Yeah, it's, like, insanely good looking.
Yeah, so Metroid Prime 2 maybe not, but I feel like if they do exactly what I said with Metroid Prime 3, it wouldn't be the biggest deal because that game's also a looker too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we get both of them. I feel like at this stage I kind of want to have Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 all out before 4 comes out. But I also want 4, so... this is
the whole gang.
Day 1 done. I got 2 items, and I've got the yellow Pikmin unlocked. Slightly slower than I would have liked, but I did kind of faff around at the start. I also lost 5 Pikmin by being an idiot. So...
You know, it is the beginning of August, which means we are... in territory of people talking about the next Direct again.
I know. Maybe September. It honestly depends for me on when they plan on announcing this new hardware. Like, if this
Yeah.
hardware is like an early half of next year sort of thing, then
Yeah,
I could
well-
easily see it being...
Sucks the insiders can't figure that out still.
Right, I'm going to jump to Blossoming Arcadia because I want to get Moss as soon as I can, so... Because that will speed a lot of things up.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I want to... like, so depending on when they release their next console, I think if it's going to be like March or something of next year, I could easily see them holding off on having a Nintendo Direct until March. No, sorry, not till March. Until, like, they're ready to announce the next system and have a big announcement. Because I imagine if it's, like, in March, then they will have, like, a lot of the games upcoming beyond this year will be for that that they want to show off.
Yeah.
With Prime 4 being on both systems.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder if they'll do... I feel like we talked about it when the last Direct happened, where we were like, if this was the Switch Swan Song Direct, then, like, I guess this isn't a bad one to go out on.
Yeah.
Given, like, Mario Wonder and all the Mario games and everything.
Yeah.
But still them just being like, yep, the Untitled Princess Peach game coming next year. Yeah, it's like stuff like that is like, oh, huh.
Oh, so there is more.
Granted, with backwards compatibility, I think it doesn't really matter. I think this one will be kind of interesting because this is the first time we'll see, I guess Nintendo's like modern is so fucking stupid to say. This is Nintendo's approach to modern marketing with a cross-gen platform, because that didn't really happen with the 3DS.
No.
Like, the 3DS was backwards compatible with the DS, but by the time Nintendo Directs happened, they were already done with DS games.
Yeah.
Except, like, what?
Pokemon.
Black and White 2?
Yeah, Pokemon
Yeah.
Black and White 2 and Conquest.
Yeah, they were kind of dunzo. And then, yeah, the Wii and the Wii U, they forgot the Wii existed. This is second thing.
Well, they tend to. So, like, this is one thing I'm curious about. Is look, because I've done this as research. I think back when the Switch first came out, and Nintendo tends to, when it's a home console, immediately abandon the predecessor the second the new one is ready. Like, they as soon as that new one is out the door, the Wii U is out there, no more Wii games, it's done. Like, the only time they weren't doing that was all the way back when it was like the Super Nintendo. Because they were doing like Super Nintendo. Wait, before things got really unified, because they were doing Super Nintendo games pretty much up until like beyond the 64, especially in Japan, where it was basically going to like 2000 and
a ton of developers were still making SNES games. It was just a based console.
Yeah, exactly. But with handhelds, they do tend to continue. We do tend to get games beyond the handheld life cycle. And the Switch being a hybrid makes me wonder which route they'll go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, with all like the remasters and ports they're announcing, I guess those are like perfect. You know, you can throw that anywhere into the schedule.
Yeah, and if they're backwards compatible, you can release ports and remasters even after.
Yeah, exactly.
Out for both of them.
Yeah, I think it is going to be very interesting when they announce this thing, because obviously I feel like the big thing a lot of people are anticipating is the fact that the idea of, like, one of the things they're going to do to announce this thing is be like, yeah, Switch games look better now.
Yeah.
So I do kind of wonder if that will be like a huge emphasis for the launch of this thing. I am just curious about how they're going to launch this thing in general, because I think we all gaslit ourselves into thinking it'd be Zelda or Metroid.
Yeah.
And now I really don't know. It certainly isn't Zelda. That's
Yeah, it's not Zelda.
It'll be a year old by the time that happens.
Yeah, Metroid Prime is the one that has been on my mind the whole time.
Yeah, that's such a crazy modern launch title.
Yeah, I know. Given its status as one of the first Switch games announced.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very fascinating. There was an IGN article yesterday, 2 days ago, where they were asking a bunch of indie developers what they think about whether or not Nintendo should make a new console.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, it's not the most fascinating article because it goes about the way you expect it to be, which is like,
yes,
indie developers making 2D games were going, no, why fucking. Switch is fine. We don't need anything new. And then it was like a bunch of other indie developers are like, this thing's annoying to develop for because it was annoying to develop for the PS4, and now it's less powerful.
I guess it depends on what engine you use, I suppose.
Yeah, a variety of things. I'm sure, like, you know, I mean that is sort of the thing. Like that was kind of the deal with the Vita too, where it's like big ass companies didn't really want to develop anything for it, but like if you had an indie studio and you were just making like a 2D game,
yeah,
then you were set. Like you could just the world's your oyster. Yeah.
True. I think. If it is so close to the Switch or it's backwards compatible, I think indie devs don't really need to worry about it, because anything that you get ready on the Switch will also just work on the Switch too. I'm just gonna call it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's gonna depend on how they do the backwards compatible, because that's been like a source of contention for a while. That's like the main reason why they've said there hasn't really been a Switch Pro, is because if they wanted to do a Switch Pro, technically Switch software would kind of have to run in like a backwards compatible mode with the new hardware. And I imagine that is fucking annoying, so probably why they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But with the Switch 2, yeah, then you could probably set that up a little bit better. But yeah, it's going to be interesting if whether or not the thing does have... It's funny how that's the question now, is like, will it play Switch 1 games? Even though that seems like such a...
Seems like
if the answer is no, then what are we doing?
Yeah. If it doesn't, then it's like, you know, a usual console upgrade, but it feels like it should do. Especially
it would be really annoying if it didn't.
Especially with all of the, like, Switch games coming out right now.
Yeah. I think the fact that they were like, yeah, all the NSO stuff is going to move forward is
that's been my
basically unofficial confirmation of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're releasing NSO stuff now, like new systems and stuff, and I've heard that there'll be more systems coming to NSO as well.
Yeah.
That's... they're gonna be, keeping that going.
It's also one of those things where it's like, yeah, why wouldn't they? Because I know, like, the Switch's OS is, like, simple. But, like, it's kind of one of the best aspects of the thing, is just how, like, lightweight and no bullshit it is.
Yeah.
Would absolutely just be fine with that interface again, maybe without friend codes. Remember friend code?
I know, Jesus.
I still can't believe it.
It's a product of its time.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Also, like, this game, Pikmin 4, looks really good.
It's a very pretty game, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Pikmin 3 was like... wow.
Yeah, no, Pikmin 4 is really good. The control over the camera, that you can actually change it if you want fixed camera only as well.
Yeah.
It just, like, makes the game look so pretty.
I remember, like, that was the funniest thing about the Wii U, is that because the Nintendo makes very cartoony games, but they had like a whole hog like desktop GPU in the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, they would have like one proper item in a game that just looked like 8K quality for some
Exceptionally high
reason.
quality for no reason.
Yeah. Paper Mario Color Splash is full of moments like that.
Color Splash sort of like makes it its kind of fun gimmick.
Yeah.
It's
like here's just Paper Mario, and you've seen him before, and then it's like here's this fucking cutscene with a 8K ultra high def 120 FPS pig dancing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the pig.
Yeah, just popped into my brain.
Yeah, no, I actually quite like that. People like decree it a lot in Paper Mario. I mean, people always complain about Paper Mario.
Paper Mario.
But like,
yeah.
I find that part really funny.
Oh yeah, no,
the realistic item, like, or people really didn't like the Origami King had like realistic items as the bosses. But like, I think I find them so memorable. Oh no, Moss got flattened.
Oh no. But yeah, Pikmin 3 was the same way, because occasionally it would just be like, here's a cherry, and you're like, what the hell?
That's the nicest looking cherry I've ever seen. Yeah, this
feels
game
like it
is
should
also
be in like
that. Just
yeah,
exceptionally high quality looking junk.
It is crazy also how much we've seen Nintendo squeeze out of the Switch. I mean, I still feel like people give Tears of the Kingdom way more shit than it deserves in regards to its like visuals and performance.
Yeah.
Especially considering that it looks and runs better than Breath of the Wild did. While having way more shit going on.
I think Tears of the Kingdom looks great, personally. I think people just like to complain. I mean, I've seen people complain about things in this game, at least when the demo came out. Stuff like, because this was obviously running in Unreal Engine.
Ooh, yeah.
Like Nintendo's first, not their first game running in Unreal, but the first one they've done from an internal point of view.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah, because Yoshi was what?
Yeah, Yoshi's Crafted World was also in Unreal, I believe.
Yeah, it was, but what studio was that?
Oh, it's Good Feel.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Good Feel who did that one, so... I'm gonna get some blue Pikmin. But yeah, no, the Miyamoto brought up ages ago that they had begun working with Unreal and knew how to use it and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now,
yeah, because there was like, there was Yoshi, and then there was like one. I think there was actually one other something that used UE.
There might have been, yeah. I wouldn't surprise
Forget what it was though. Because it was around the time Yoshi happened. I think it was like did one of the Pokemon spin-offs use Unreal Engine?
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Something like that. It feels like there was some really, really, really random spin-off.
That went and used UE.
It might have just been that around that time you really started seeing UE4 stuff. Release on the Switch, because that was like a weird issue in the first year, was people going, does UE4 work on the Switch?
Yeah, people want, because it didn't on the Wii U.
No.
Which was a big problem.
Nothing worked on the Wii U.
So pluck all these things for the end of the day. Alright. Cool. Day 2's done. I only got one ship piece, but I did get moss. So I'm certainly not playing this as well as the guy who's apparently did this in 4 days, which I do not understand how that's possible.
Damn.
Because there's 4 areas, you have to get everything in a single area in 1 day, and I'm not even sure how you get everything in the first set world without having moss. So...
You can see, just really gotta optimize your run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what speedrunners are like for you. Alright, but now that I've got moss, and now that I've got all 3 colours of Pikmin, it should be good to go on getting, like, everything really fast.
Hell yeah.
So let's go. Let's solve this.
They should do a Mario Wonder Direct, and it's just an hour of Mario Wonder.
I want to see more of that game.
Yeah.
Really.
I need it in my hands. Crazy.
Like, I want to see what other power-ups are there. I want to see how the characters work. Like if they.
Did you see the ESRB leaked the villain of Mario Wonder?
I know, big spoiler for anyone listening, but
yeah.
the main villain is Bowser.
Yeah. Yeah, big Mario Wonder spoilers. Got Bowser.
Oh man, I saw.
You might have not known from him being in the trailer, but
technically only Bowser Jr. is in the trailer, so there was.
Oh yeah,
Bowser
true.
might not be there. I mean, his insignia and his army and all of that—they're all there, but.
I can't wait for this 2D Mario game to come out, and people are like, "I wish they just did a different final villain." Like it's gonna be Bowser forever. I don't know.
No, I saw what was it? That King K. Rool account on Twitter.
Oh my god.
He just like flipping out over this, and I was like, my dude, the ESRB, even if there is like a twist villain or something, the ESRB isn't going to be like leaking it. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna
they only leak
like
things like the
synopsis.
Smash roster.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Yeah. Crazy.
But like, yeah, it's just like obviously, if there is a secret villain, let's say what is actually secretly coming back.
Yeah,
it's like they're gonna make that if they haven't revealed it right from the start, they're going to make that a like surprise.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be plastered
hey guys,
all over
Bowser's
the
back.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's always very funny. It's like we just got the Mario movie this year. You really think they're gonna make the first
don't want Bowser anymore.
wholly new all original cast Mario game?
Yeah, no Bowser. I'd say he's cancelled now. Get him out.
Yeah.
Look at him go. Look how fast.
Wait for Mario Wonder 2, and then you.
Yeah, I just want to see more of what that game has in store for us. I'm sure it's going to be.
This is like the second. What is this? Like the second time they've closed out a generation of the 2D Mario games?
When was the first?
I mean the new Super Mario Brothers Wii was like within the last like few years of the Wii.
Fair enough.
Like 2009, really late 2009.
Okay.
I guess it's closer to like mid because when did when did they give up on the Wii? 2011. Yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
3DS was 2011.
I always just think of the give up point being Skyward Sword because
that is 2000.
But they released like one Kirby game after that, right? That was it.
We didn't even get that Kirby game in Europe. Kirby's Anniversary Collection, right?
Oh man, and then that collection was like way better than the Mario one. Crazy.
Oh shoot, I forgot to move my base, so all the Pikmin are miles away. I'll do that. So, I'll fix that in a second. That is not a good Dandori skill lesson I've taken from that.
I don't know. What do you think, chat? What do you think of Mario? Think he's cool? You think? How are we feeling about Mario? Let's get a show.
Who doesn't like Mario? It is interesting that they are sort of ending the generation with 2D Mario, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, Moss, he's stuck to the thing.
Well, I guess technically they're closing the generation with Luigi's Mansion 2. So
Yeah, I know.
I really don't know.
It's so random, that one.
And it's like a straight port too. I don't know. A lot of people were like, I get it when you just like port these games from like the previous console with like no changes to the graphics. I get it. It's a little disappointing in the day and age of stuff like
Luigi's Mansion 3 just looks so good.
Yeah.
So it does kind of feel like, but why? And also, but why? Why bring Luigi's Mansion 2 over all games?
Yeah, before the first one.
I feel like the first one is just going to drop in the same way that like the Pikmin 1 and 2 ports did.
Man, I'd hope so. But it's weird they didn't mention it.
I mean, yeah.
They just went straight for the 3DS one.
It is odd, but I feel like their pattern with the GameCube ports is just to shadow drop them with no build-up whatsoever.
Yeah, but that's like cool though. They like companies should just do that anyway. Like, conversely, there was that whole GoldenEye thing.
Yeah.
Where they just kept jerking us off for like half a year. Like, GoldenEye's coming out, you don't know when, but eventually.
Eventually, it will be here.
And then it was just a random Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And then they never bothered fixing either version. Can't win. You just can't win.
Well, I mean, fixing stuff on the N64 versions, just on NSO at 64, has been a problem in general.
Well, yeah, it's all like emulation errors and stuff. It's not like they didn't fix this bug from the original.
Yeah, it's all weird emulation stuff. I'm still back.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I know why, because Nintendo wanted to have GoldenEye Online be their thing on NSO, but it is kind of wild that Microsoft didn't have online for GoldenEye.
Well, yeah. Well, also that port is like weird. It's got like a ton of bizarre issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got like because it's so weird. GoldenEye's engine is like bizarre, and that's because it's a Nintendo 64 game. So like, of course.
Yeah.
Trying to get that game to run on the N64 was like magic to begin with, and that was also like a first-time project for like a ton of devs, and it was supposed to be a virtual. All this garbage, but like, it's very weird because like the NSO N64 version is like debatably like closer to the original experience, obviously, because it's just the ROM.
Yeah.
But it's got a bunch of weird texture and fog issues. And then on top of that, the input sensitivity of the N64 controller and the emulator is like way off.
Well,
I guess not way off, but you can feel
some of
it.
that is just a problem with the emulator, though.
Yeah, no, it is. Because they've had to like specifically fix it for other games, but
Yeah.
it's kind of weird they haven't done it yet. But then again, they've added one Nintendo 64 game?
Yeah, that's been my surprise. The Nintendo 64 games have been kind of like just not there.
They announced
I thought they were
games and they were like, coming never.
I thought they were going to swap between the Game Boy Advance and 64, but we just had Game Boy Advance multiple times in a row.
Yeah, and they just shoved some Game Boy Color games out the door. Like, here you go.
That was random. I had to remind myself that the Game Boy Color games aren't part of that same, like...
Yeah.
But it's like, they just drop Game Boy games sort of whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, where the fuck is Mario Party 3?
At this point, that's going to be like the September-October game, like a year out from Mario Party. And instead of a new Mario Party
I hope they go, we're sorry, here's like 3 of them, you know?
I'm surprised they didn't release Pokemon Stadium 2 and Pokemon Stadium 1 at the same time. Like how they released Mario Party 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah, they did Mario Party 1 and 2, but we're still waiting on 3.
Yeah. Like, I understand why you'd release Mario Party 1 and 2 at the same time, because 2 is like almost like a remake of Mario Party 1 in a sort of roundabout way. But
it's also weird to just save them, considering like they are far from running out of Nintendo 64 games.
I won. This is another reason why I think the next Switch would be backwards compatible and have all the NSO stuff and all that, because they're just being very like they're just really holding back on a lot of these games.
Well,
like
the Game Boy one's like majorly egregious because you're like, where the fuck is Mario Land 1?
Yeah, the lack of Mario Land 1 is certainly odd.
Where's Donkey Kong?
Like I can understand. Oh yeah, Donkey Kong, just Donkey Kong, not Donkey Kong Land. Yeah.
Yeah, or just like Donkey Kong in general, because like it's not like they don't have Donkey Kong 64 to add to the Switch anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, they're probably gonna. They're probably gonna add. Oh no, I forgot to. They're probably gonna.
I was gonna say they better add the other rare stuff. It'd be really annoying if they just did Banjo 1 and GoldenEye. They were just like, that's it. That's all the rare games.
I think we're definitely going to get. Oh no, I did it again.
I mean, like Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, like, come on.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get Banjo-Tooie, and we're definitely going to get,
I mean, DK64 has to be a certainty. It would be so weird if it wasn't.
Yeah, we're definitely getting DK64, and we're definitely getting Diddy Kong Racing, and we're definitely getting Banjo-Tooie.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I have no, doubts about them. Oh, whoops.
We just have no idea when they plan on doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe just like people, like they react to the Game Boy titles more. So those are just like, you get those social media numbers up. Yeah, I don't know.
No clue.
But yeah, they should just like drop.
Oh, right, that's why I had Moss. I had Moss go over there, but I didn't have him pick up the Pikmin.
But yeah, give me all those N64 games, please.
And I'm doing this pretty slowly. And I'm one Pikmin down, damn.
Oh yeah, I didn't even explain the issues with like the Xbox version of GoldenEye. It's like really weird. The game runs at like the engine's weird. GoldenEye normally runs at like 35 FPS or something. But then like it's like dynamic. The frame rate cap will like drop to 20 if like things get really crazy.
Okay.
Just to keep like some type of like stability. And then the game runs at some low resolution, as you can probably imagine. The version on Xbox is like running at 4K, like internally. But there's like, so because of that, the geometry is being blown up so much that there's like the seams that are like in between the different like models and the environments or everything are now just like open and clearly visible.
That's so weird.
It is weird. Not that you can't, like, not that they're not there in the original release, but like the way that the game's being rendered, everything is so close together that you'd have to like smoosh your in-game face up to go find it. But then if you're playing the Xbox version, you're just like, wow, I can see through everything.
I really just don't understand why some games just run really badly on way stronger hardware compared to what it was.
Yeah. And then the game itself is like weird because they wanted to get it to run at 60 FPS and then they couldn't, so then they just capped the frame rate at 30.
Right, okay.
But as I said before, the engine normally runs at like 35 or 40 FPS. So when it's trying to run above its own frame rate cap, it just starts dropping frames. It's very weird. It's a very, very, very weird thing.
Just realised I don't need to get any more Pikmin. I've got plenty. Part of the Dandori is knowing when I need to stop just making Pikmin. But I will kill these enemies. Yeah, Smash 64 is another one that they will eventually add on, so...
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, there's a ton of N64 titles missing, and it's like not even not even just like third-party stuff.
Which I do really want. I want to see the Goemon games added. Like, ASAP.
Didn't fucking Treasure was like, yeah, all our games are coming over.
Yeah.
Where the fuck where's Mischief Maker?
Yeah, all their games is 3 games, but we've only got 1 so far, and that's Sin and Punishment.
I wonder if they are just having problems with that emulator.
I mean, it could be that, but I mean, I honestly think it's just them pacing it out so that they've got so that they can keep this going for the next like 7 or 8 years of the successor's lifespan.
I mean that makes sense too, but it's also like I mean all the things we say about the N64, which is that it's not a very popular console amongst gamers, even though they're wrong. It's a banger console, but yeah, like, because they already have like, I mean, like, I remember like people complain about the NES and SNES lineups, but those are like basically complete. Like, not, I mean, they're not like complete libraries in any way, but like, if you're just trying to get the like all the core Nintendo stuff, like really, there's not a ton missing from the NES or SNES.
Yeah, it's just a
lineup.
Like, I don't know why Murasame Castle and Mac Rider are not on.
I was gonna say, and also those don't really seem like things that they're gonna be like, Switch 2, our first NSO update is Mach Rider.
I mean, I think this is a reason why the NES and SNES games have been so slow to update. Because they've got so many in there, but they also want to keep that going until the end of, like, you know, the next system at least. So they have to just basically update it like once a year.
When are they gonna add golf?
There's surprising
when are they gonna add vlog?
Where is Plog? Jeez. There's a surprising amount.
Plog.
Oh, I thought you said Plog.
Oh no. That's a that's a deep cut. What's that Atari game that's like a oh my god, it's like a weird stacking arcade puzzle game.
What, Bug?
Hang on, let me look at my Tengen carts and oh, Clax.
Clax.
Have you ever played Clax?
No, what on earth is Clax?
Oh, such a it's
looks like I got all the ship parts, so this area is done. So.
Yeah, I don't know. The NES cart art is just a hand. No, it's this very like I mean like it was clearly made during like Tetris was really big. So it's still kind of in that line, but it's just such a visually distinct game. Let's see. There's like we need some cool epic NES footage of Clax.
time now, and
I forgot this game. This
you okay?
the opening of the game is a black screen with text that says "It is the '90s" and there is time for
Okay, sure.
clacks.
It is the 90s.
Yeah, they were really gassing up this this clacks game. Put that shit on NSO.
Let's see, I've got enough of them, so let's put all the reds back and get blues out. At least all the reds that
I mean, the other kind of infuriating thing is the fact that they're doing this like drip feed for all the consoles. So it's like you could finish one and move on to the other.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that. Again, I think they're just trying to have it so that they've always got stuff from these consoles coming out, and then they're introducing new consoles as well, so that they have more games so that they can then go and add.
Man, I wonder who they asked.
I mean, I would not be surprised if we get like Game Gear next.
Well, I hope so. It'd be cool if Sega remembered the Game Gear.
Well, I mean, they just put all the Game Gear Sonic. The Master System is the one that they never blooming touch on. They just put all the
same
Game
thing.
Gear
It's
Sonic
the same
games.
thing.
No.
The same hardware, kinda, more or less.
The games that were on the Game Gear.
The Sonic Origins
collection.
collection.
Like worse. That is actually kind of cheeky, because if they do Game Gear next, like, they're gonna put the Sonic games on there. But Sega just charged everyone to get them.
It is infuriating that they included the Game Gear version of those games and not the Master System
exactly.
version.
It's like, what on earth are you doing?
That'll be cool. I feel like the Master System is always a console that I kind of like. It's got a very weird, specific library to it that you have to almost exclusively import.
The Master System was big over here in the UK, but I was always on the Nintendo side of things. And I remember the Game Gear, but the Master System, I just know, it's like before my time.
Well, it seems like the dealio with the Master System was that, like, the NES in the UK got gamered on, because, who was doing the production? Mattel was doing the distribution for the NES in Europe.
Maybe. I didn't get an
they were trying to pitch the NES as being like a high-end video game console. They were like, this is some powerful fucking software. And especially because they had to also like double license everything from Nintendo. So basically, if you wanted to buy an NES in Europe in the 80s, you had to go to like a high-end electronics store and then pay like significantly more than anybody else on the planet was paying for an NES and its games.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, the Master System, on the other hand, was the opposite. It just, they just like, and technically, in that time, it kind of would have had its own market because the only other video game console is the NES, and that's being sold in a fucking weird way. Yeah. So you had the Master System out, and it's basically the NES, but the software licensing was really cheap. So if you were like EA or like any of these big, I mean, that's the interesting thing about the Master System is that its library, like the NES's library, is so heavily focused on like arcade titles because that's what was big in the US and Japan.
Yeah.
But if you go through the Master,
it was made so that they could bring a lot of their NES, their arcade titles to homes.
Yeah, but if you look at the Master System, it's the opposite. Because obviously Sega brought over all their arcade games, and a few other companies did too, but Nintendo had that infamous grip on third-party licensing. So you're not getting Castlevania, you're not getting Contra, but what you are getting is all of these European PC, PC-based games. So if you wanted to buy an NES in Europe in the 80s, you had to go to like a high-end electronics store and then pay like significantly more than anybody else on the planet was paying for an NES and its games. Yeah, developers and distributors who were making stuff for like the Amiga and Amstrad and the Spectrum and IBMs and Apple. They're all just throwing their stuff onto the Master System willy-nilly. So that's kind of the big difference between the two, is that the Master System was all like a lot of PC games.
Well, one of my yellow Pikmin is just stuck, and he cannot get out. So he's stuck behind a butterfly, and there is nothing I can do to save him. So I think he's just gonna die here. Oh no, never mind, I saved him.
Yeah.
He somehow unstuck himself.
Yay.
Where am I still missing Pikmin? Oh, there's just some randomly scattered around, okay.
So yeah, definitely like getting the Master System, especially with like third-party games, onto something like NSO would be really cool, because it would be just such a different library from like your NES and Genesis games.
Yeah, I think Master System would be more interesting to get than the Game Gear would be.
Yeah. Well, theoretically, they could just, if they were cool and epic, it would just be one emulator that they could just, like, press a button and switch between the two modes.
But they're not cool and epic.
Yeah, they definitely won't do that. Even though it's, like, basically the same code anyway.
Yeah, but they'll want to have it positioned as two different pieces of content, so they can drip feed the Game Gear games and then drip feed the Master System games later, even if they're like the same game.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can buy like little Master System cartridge adapters for the Game Gear, and it just like works.
Okay.
The aspect ratio is like a little weird because the Game Gear has like a lower resolution than the Master System, but that's they run, they work.
They run, they work. That's all you really need.
Yeah.
All right, so let's try and I'm going to try and power through Blossom in Arcadia so I can get everything in this one day.
Ooh.
So I need to really think about where do I want to go? Where do I need to send Moss, and where do I need to go?
Oh, I finally picked up Fatal Frame 4 for the Switch. Finally did it. I just was like, I went into New York City, like about a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm finally gonna pick up a physical copy of this game. Then I went into whatever store, and they were like, actually, we sold out like a month ago, and just never ordered more.
Oof.
I was like, oh. And then they legitimately were like, you should check out PlayAsia. And then I opened up Amazon, and there was just some guy with Prime shipping, and it's just like, okay, whatever.
Fine.
Yeah. I haven't played too much of it. It looked good, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that Suda51 worked on, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The first one that Nintendo decided they were going to publish for some reason.
And then Reggie was like, actually, no.
No, we don't want that. And we had Shibata who was like, yes, we will take it, and we will rename it.
Yeah. Insane. I really hope they continue this tradition of just like remastering all the Fatal Frame games. They've done really good jobs with 4 and 5.
This seems to be a thing. I mean, like, they seem to be pushing to have Fatal Frame, like the remasters, I guess. Like just trying to get Fatal Frame on the Switch. Like, obviously, those two are owned by Nintendo. And then they decided.
Now they're on everything.
Yeah, because they were like,
sick.
we're gonna license out. I don't think they outright bought. No, they did. Sorry, they bought the publishing rights to those games. So I guess they can do anything they want with it now.
It'd be crazy if they did the same thing with Devil's Third, even though they kind of already did. They just gave it to Nexon, and now that game is vaporware. Or abandonware, really, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that they're too fussed around Devil's Third somehow.
I will say those are those Fatal Frame games are like the types of games that make me go, man, I'm really glad I own a Switch OLED. They look great. They look fucking brilliant. And they're like Wii games. Well, one's a Wii U game, but it's graphically on par with a Wii game. But it doesn't matter. They're so stylized. They look so cool and creepy.
Yeah, I played 5, but I didn't play 4.
I mean, 5 is like...
That's the Wii U one.
Yeah, it's also like the worst one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It goes up from there. Like, the defining factor of Fatal Frame 5 when it came out was everyone being like, oh, this was made by totally new people on a budget of $5, and it shows. The previous Fatal Frames are like nowhere as janky as 5 is. Which is insane, because then you pick up like when you do like the Wii U mechanic, like the gamepad camera obscura. It feels like the best video game of all time. You're like, this is so smart. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just feels like a natural fit to have.
Yeah.
To have it.
It's just so good. But yeah, like the other ones. I mean, Fatal Frame 1 through 3 were like big games. Like I don't know if I want to say AAA because it's like PS2 era. And so I mean, around that time, that's like really kind of. But like, yeah, Fatal Frame 1 and 2 was like. I mean, Fatal Frame 2 is on like the Xbox, and they made this big deal about it. It's like, yeah, it's got Dolby surrounded.
And they were like, I mean,
they really wanted.
Big massive thing.
Yeah, well, Fatal Frame 1, their marketing push for that was that it was the scariest game of all time. Which is, it's up to you, but like, that's cool. That's cool marketing.
Yeah, go for it, Ian, I guess.
You say you're gonna be finding so scary.
You're gonna be so spooked by this game.
Yeah, those games are sick. I was gonna say, the actual worst Fatal Frames are those weird-ass spin-offs that... like Spirit Camera, or whatever.
Spirit Camera is super odd. I've been looking into this recently. Because I was under the impression, alright, that Fatal Frame was co-owned by Nintendo and Koei Tecmo. But that's not true.
Yeah.
They did a Bayonetta situation where they were basically like, we're gonna fund you to make new games in the series, and you're going to we're gonna fund you to make new games in this series that'll be exclusive to us, and we're gonna own them. And that was basically the premise of it.
Yeah.
And but like Spirit Camera, Nintendo do just own outright.
Yeah.
They own everything about it, not just the game, which they obviously help fund, but the characters and stuff, but like the IP itself, the trademark for the name, which is just really weird to me. But the reason it has a different name was supposedly because it didn't play anything like Fatal Frame, so they felt like it should have a different name.
Well, I didn't even know it was a Fatal Frame game for most of its existence. It was like years later that people are like, actually no, that's a. Not only is that a Nintendo thing, like an actual Nintendo thing, and not just a game that exists on the 3DS. Yeah. But yeah, it is tied to Fatal Frame. It's Fatal Frame adjacent, I guess is the best way to put it.
Because what was it? I think it was I looked at a new order. I didn't know it was a Nintendo game until it showed up in Smash Brothers. but I didn't know it was I didn't know it was actually a Fatal Frame game until I was like reading this like Iwata Asks that they did, where they basically just outright said like, "Oh yeah, no, this is a Fatal Frame." This is just a spin-off of the. They didn't use the word spin-off, but they were like, "Yeah, this is just like a Fatal Frame side game."
Yeah.
And it's like,
so weird.
Okay. Oh no, shoot, I need moss to get up there. That's not good. Ah, shoot. Waste of time. Let's get this.
I guess like the Fatal Frame stuff has always been fascinating because like, I mean, Nintendo's relationship with like mature properties has always been bizarre. I know everyone on the internet's always like, "Oh, Nintendo's such a family-friendly company. They're so wholesome, chungus." And then it's like, no, I mean, like, throughout their video gaming history, they have dabbled into mature franchises.
Yeah.
Just happens to be the most fucking random ones.
Most random times as well.
Yeah. And it's like, it is fascinating. Like, with stuff like, some of it's kind of obvious. I think GoldenEye is really obvious. Like, of course, yeah, like, I mean, that was supposed to be like a racing game.
You don't really think about it when it's like on the NES and SNES. But they've had mature titles. Not many of them, to be fair, got released like outside of Japan. But
at least without like censorship. Yeah.
But no, like the 64 had both Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, and then the GameCube has like Geist and Eternal Darkness.
Well, it's also important to point out the actual like Nintendo published ones, or the Nintendo owned ones, because Nintendo owns GoldenEye.
Yeah, I mean they own all the ones. They own all the ones I just said. I mean they don't own.
Well, not
Perfect Dark.
Not Perfect Dark.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't own Perfect Dark, but they own GoldenEye.
Yeah, it was their game, and then Geist.
Yeah, they own Geist.
But that's like Geist is also a situation where like they took it, like they bought the Geist rights.
I mean, was it a thing where they... So, like, is it a case where they, like, funded the game and then that's why they own it? Or did they... Like, how close it to, like, is this, like, an Astral Chain situation where they just bought the rights full out after the game came out? Or is this, like, one of their usual, like, snipper clips, let's say, where they bought the game... Where they helped fund the game and thus they own the game? Kind of thing.
Seems like it was just well into development, and then they were like, actually, we'll publish this. This is our game now.
Okay.
And then they were like, we have Geist.
Yeah, we own Geist.
Because Geist was in development for like basically the entirety of the GameCube's life. Because there are trailers for it from like 2003. I don't know what N-Space was doing in 2003. I guess Nintendo was just like, yeah, fucking it looks fine.
Well, I think
we'll push that.
I think a big part of that on the GameCube era was the president of Nintendo of America, like prior to Reggie taking over, was like, I want to have the GameCube needs to have more mature, more Western-focused titles in here.
Oh yeah, of course.
We're gonna like invest in buy retro. We're going to go and get this Geist game. We're going to. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong button.
I would love to know what their plans for Geist were. I mean, I know there was that DS one that they were working on that they canceled. That would have been pretty nutty. Geist on the DS. Yeah, they will. Well, because it like. They never, like, announced it. Well, they sorted it. They were like, there is a Geist, like, remakester sort of deal. Like, coming to the DS. Yeah, and then they just didn't
I
exist.
said the guy's name, but I forgot what it is. John something.
John Geist or whatever.
Yeah, John Geist will be back.
And then N-Space just made all those Call of Duty games for the DS.
Oh, they were made by them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Which technically means that all those Call of Duty games are on the Geist DS engine.
Interesting. See, I was actually kind of interested in playing them.
I was watching a whole video about like DS first-person shooters, and I was like, man, this console rocks. Like, it's just...
This isn't good. This is
people really I think a lot about how, like, sort of the third-party mentality with the DS and the GBA is that no one wanted to make, like, 2D or 2.5D games for, like, Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, a lot of those times, when you see, like, a 2D game and it was being released on a handheld, it was just because that was, like... That was just the plan. That was just what the developer or distributor thought was the best idea. It was like, you want to make a new platformer? It's a DS game.
Yeah. No, I mean, the DS was the one that... I mean, it could do 3D, but, like...
Yeah.
It was still, like... It was running alongside stuff like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, so...
Yeah.
If you wanted to
the
make
DS
a
is probably, like...
3D game, you go for them, and then if you want to make a smaller, what would effectively be like an indie title nowadays, you go on the DS.
And it's kind of crazy because the hardware of the DS is like somewhere between a PS1 and the N64. So when you do like look at those like those weird looking Call of Duty games on the DS, like they are genuinely impressive. Like there is something like very fascinating about how those games look and how they play.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's the same can be just said for like a lot of shooters on the DS, of which there's like 10, but they are there. Because there's those ones by Renegade Kid, like Dementium and Moon, and those look like unreal.
I was going to bring up Moon. I played Moon up until the point where it like glitched out on me and I couldn't continue, so I stopped playing. But I really liked Moon. I thought Moon looked really good when it was announced.
Yeah.
And from what I played of it, I remember I quite liked it.
I have the 3DS version of Moon, and it's like...
I didn't know it came out.
Kind of a shame how Renegade Kid did all these like remakes of their DS games, and all their remakes were really bad.
I'm gonna say I didn't know that they did a remake of Moon.
Yep, it was a 3DS eShop. You can't buy it anymore, but it's a 3DS eShop title.
Why was it bad? What did they do?
No, I think it's just like, well, I don't think the Moon remake's too bad. It's just like, probably a game that didn't really need a remake. It's just like all the impressiveness of the tech is kind of gone when it's just like, well, yeah, this console can do way more. But I know the Dementium 2 remake is like, just really slow, bad-looking mess.
Oh, no, that's not good.
It's really buggy. Yeah, which is a shame because Dementium 2 seems to be such a highly regarded DS game. And then they wanted to do Cult County, which didn't get funded.
What?
Another first-person horror game, Cult County. It was like kickstarted, but it failed.
Oh no.
Has Renegade Kid done anything recently? Feels like I haven't heard from them in like forever.
No, I didn't know they were made by the same people. So I remember both those games.
Oh no, they shuttered in 2017. Sad day. Yeah, their games include Dementium the Ward, Moon, Mutant Muds.
No,
Moon Chronicles.
They did Mutant Muds?
Yeah.
I swear that guy's still around who did that.
Well, I'm sure the guy is, but not.
I'm gonna say
not the company.
Mutant Muds gets released is still up. So at least he gets his games.
They also did Zeo Drifter.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They also apparently were working on a GBA port of Demon's Crest that never went anywhere.
Oh, no.
That's crazy. Damn. Trying to remember if there's any games it's like coming up in the immediate future that I'm looking forward to. There's like
I think Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, is that what it's called?
yes.
Hideki, that one comes out at the end of August.
Tomorrow is the Rise of the Triad remaster, remake, Night Dive remakester. That should be pretty cool, although all the console versions were delayed last minute because it's a Night Dive release. So of course it's like, actually we're not done, but the release date's soon.
The release date is soon, but we're not there yet.
I really like. I feel like such an entitled, grumpy gamer when they do shit like this. Because it's like, why? Why base all of your marketing about how soon this game is coming out, and then you're just like, actually, it's not soon. It turns out this game's not even close to done. We got to do so much more. It's like, just don't say anything.
Yeah, just don't announce it then.
So annoying, especially like all those like the PC boomer shooter guys, because they all think saying something is coming soon because of Duke Nukem Forever is like funny.
Oh.
So they're like, yeah, it's soon a trademark, and it's like, just say eventually or whatever, don't. Because they're always like, it's closer than you think, and then it's like, turns out it wasn't.
Turns out it wasn't close at all.
Like, it's a miracle that System Shock remake came out. That I gotta like sit down and play. That like totally escaped me.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that was out either.
But yeah, it was like in May or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They were like, it's actually done. I swear, it's out.
We released it. We released something.
I am curious to check out Rise of the Triad. Earlier this year / late last year, I was on a big kick where I was playing through Wolfenstein 3D again, plus like Spear of Destiny and all the other like weird expansion packs. And that's a game that's like really fascinating to return to because like it plays so totally different from like, I mean, like in a modern source port control wise, you can just make it play like Doom, but like its approach to its combat and level design and everything is so dramatically different because it's so much more arcadey and it's so much more I can't really say video gamey, but like there's 3 enemies, you know, like it's very like there are hard defined rules and yeah, go crazy, go exploring, go. And it's cool. I think I agree with everyone's complaints that it does definitely get like repetitive after a while. But that's why you crank up the difficulty and you start playing Romero's bullshit levels, and then you're like, oh, this is pure video gaming. But Rise of the Triad's weird. Do you know anything about Rise of the Triad?
Not really, no.
Basically, so infamously, Doom 1 was self-published. Like completely self-published, as in it didn't have a retail release for 2 years.
Yeah, no, this wasn't like you filled out a thing and then they sort of posted it to you.
Yeah, you got the shareware and then you finished the shareware and it would literally just tell you like a number to call or like fax or whatever, and then you just ordered it by mail.
Yeah.
It wasn't until they got a publisher with GT Interactive that they were able to make a nice little box. But before that, they were publishing through Apogee, who also could do like retail and everything. And they made Wolfenstein 3D, and like, wow, big deal, good game. They're like, make another. And so they were making, yeah, they were just making another right now. And so they were working on Spear of Destiny, but like, they also were working on Doom, because that was like, you know, the next big step for them.
Yeah.
And so it was like you had half of id like working hardcore on like Doom, like its engine and everything, and then you just had like John Romero, who's just sitting at his computer all day, alternating between making Wolfenstein maps and Doom maps. And then like Bobby Prince is off in the corner, like making music for all this stuff. And then they wrapped up Spear of Destiny, and then Apogee was like, "Oh, cool, another." And then it was like, "We're done. We want to publish this Doom game. Like, we're not doing another fucking Wolfenstein game." And so Apogee just made like a crew of people to make they wanted to call it like Wolfenstein 2: Rise of the Triad.
Oh, okay.
And then they just made it a new game.
Basically like the unofficial
yeah
Wolfenstein game.
Yeah, it's a very strange, like, yeah, because it's like there's like one person who worked on Wolfenstein 3D who worked on that game, and it doesn't really show because it's Tom Hall who mostly did like some level design and like art and stuff. But Rise of the Triad's a cute game because it's like, it's still made in the Wolfenstein 3D engine, but by the time it was out, Doom was a thing, so they had to make it look really impressive. So there's like digitized graphics and verticality, despite the fact that the engine is still like, can't render rounded edges. Everything is still like a block wall. But yeah, it's a fascinating game. It has like 5 playable characters, all with different stats. There's like a billion like weird ass power-ups. There's like a dog power-up where you turn into a dog.
Sure, why not, I guess.
Yeah. It's very, I mean like their words, not mine. It's very ludicrous. That's like the marketing word for that game. It's like ludicrous difficulty, and yeah. It's got a banger soundtrack. And it's just a crazy ass game.
Let's go and open up this space.
That's tomorrow on PC, but like for consoles, it's like later in the year.
Ah, shit. Bastard.
They gotta get ready for the inevitable limited run release. Oh man.
I guess we haven't actually talked about the limited run.
I was gonna say, yeah, we didn't talk about that, I guess.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Back. There's actually quite a lot. Oh no, shit! I don't have enough Pikmin. There's actually quite a lot there that I'm looking forward to. I just have this overall like fear because it's limited run games of what this is actually like. Am I going to be able to get any of them?
Yeah. Well, all the stuff. Whenever they're like, we're bringing back an old game.
Yeah.
That's great. That's like good. I feel like I've said this before, definitely, but like even putting aside all the like, limited aspect of it, one thing that's always been just a little annoying about all these companies like Super Rare Games and Limited Run is that like video games don't have an equivalent to like the Criterion Collection or like Arrow or like Warner Archive or whatever. These distribution like movie labels that will like buy the rights to semi-obscure to obscure movies and then do these like, you know, beautiful restorations and get a billion bonus features and nice art and all that.
Like proper collectors.
And video games don't get that. I
I suppose it's a lot harder for video games because you'd have to reprogram stuff.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
But it's like, there's like nothing. It's not even like, oh, there's nothing really like it. There's just nothing. I think the closest we would have gotten was like Blue Point, like 10 years ago. Because something like the Metal Gear collection is like, yeah, I mean, that's how you do it, you know?
Yeah, they were big. They were big into collections back then. Like I remember the Metal Gear collection, I think Sonic Origins is iffy, but the Sonic like Mega collections and stuff like that they've been doing, and a lot of the bonus features in Sonic Origins, like are very good. It's what you want from like a collector's edition.
Yeah. And so, like, limited run, like, it feels like that slew of announcements they had where they were like, Clock Tower is coming back, Gex is coming back, Toomba or whatever, like, it felt like all of those were like, oh, we're finally dipping our toes into exactly that.
We'll see what
into, like,
like, I guess.
Yeah.
Saying anything.
But I mean, they're clearly they're clearly like trying to do these almost everything in the kitchen sink. I mean, these aren't like there's considerably more effort, I want to say, being put into these.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't seen anything from like the Toomba stuff, but other stuff Limited Run has worked on is like I'll give them that. It's good. Because they've been helping out on like those weird FMV game remasters, all those Shantae games.
Yeah, they've been doing loads of Shantae stuff. I mean, they're funding that GBA game, and that's cool. I quite like that. Like,
yeah,
I would like genuinely be willing to buy a new GBA game.
Yeah.
For this, just because it's a new one. Like, I'm not bothered when they do like, oh, we're releasing Shantae with like a repro cart or whatever for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah,
because it's
when
like
they were selling like $50 Empire Strikes Back for the NES repros.
Yeah.
There was something recently they did. Yeah, they did like the Three Stooges recently, which is insane because that game is like $5 on eBay. You are just like ripping yourself off buying the limited run.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I can get like so many of these games for like cheaper. Like I'd have to really be desperate to own the physical copy or something, and it's literally not available for me to feel like it's justifiable.
Yeah. Really, my only is just that new key art for the Clock Tower remakes there. Looks bad.
It has that way forward anime look to it.
I wouldn't even say it has that. It just looks really cheap. It doesn't look anything like Clock Tower. I get it, like,
given that was like the focus of the reveal trailer.
Yeah. Like, Clock Tower obviously isn't like a digitized, like, realistic looking game. But like that's what it's trying to evoke. It's trying to look like a Dario Argento movie. So just doing some fucking anime key art is like, what?
I mean, again, it's how Way Forward always does stuff. I mean, look at Advance Wars.
Yeah. I guess those new, like, before and ending cutscenes will be in that style.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing, guys? Gamers, why are we adding shit?
Oh no, that's bad. They ran right into his tongue. Oops.
Oh no. But I'll hold my tongue, because they've also been saying up and down that nothing, like, regarding the game itself has actually been changed.
Yeah.
So when I boot up the game, I'll just have to press the start button like 1,000,000 times, and then I can play the game like normal.
So those who, want that, I guess.
Yeah, if they really want an anime OVA opening for Clock Tower.
Why not? A lot of people, they either already know what Clock Tower is, and so they're like
That part's gonna be so weird.
Buy it,
Oh.
or they've never played it before, so they're not going to care too much.
Yeah, but the Gex thing is cool.
Yes, the Gex thing is quite cool.
Square Enix seem they're all in.
Square Enix. It's the fact that Square Enix still owns Gex, despite not owning Deus Ex anymore and stuff.
Yeah.
And Tomb Raider. They kept Gex is really fun to me.
Doesn't Amazon own Tomb Raider now?
I don't know who it is who owns Tomb Raider. Is it...
Don't we live in hell? Isn't that what?
What?
Don't we live in like just horrible end times where random ass companies are buying the most random ass properties?
I don't think Amazon owns Tomb Raider. They might have a deal with who does own it. I thought it was bought out by that company that was constantly buying out other companies.
Yeah, Embracer.
Yeah, Embracer, yeah.
But now they're hemorrhaging money, so I
Yeah,
don't.
because they've bought a whole bunch of stuff and they don't have
bought
anything to do
everyone,
with
and then
it.
no one's making games.
Yeah, that's the most bizarre thing to me. Like, what was even the
I
point
found it.
in buying all of this stuff if you weren't actually gonna do anything with it?
It's from January 31st, 2023, from Games Radar Plus. Amazon has reportedly bought the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise for $600 million.
Jesus.
Embracer Group, according to the website Fellowship of Fans, which says Embracer Group just sold their Tomb Raider rights to Amazon. Wow.
Wow. So they went through the whole trouble of buying Deus Ex and Tomb Raider, and then basically
But that's the
cancelled
thing.
like, the Tomb Raider. Basically cancelled that Deus Ex thing they were working on and sold Tomb Raider off immediately.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything has been said about that since.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, because it's a rumor, and there's just been no confirmation or denial about...
About it either way.
But at the same time, like, there's articles from a couple months earlier that said that they were working with Amazon to publish Tomb Raider games, so... I don't know. And then there's an article from a few months ago where they just lost a shitload of money, because... they bought a billion studios that aren't putting out games.
Yeah, because they didn't think about this all the way through.
No, well, neither did Microsoft or any of these companies. Spending way too much money on companies that aren't putting out games.
Yeah, the Microsoft one is... The Microsoft one, I think, is their own problem. Because, like, Microsoft is, like... I think being hands-off with developers, you know, to let them do what they want is, like, a noble endeavor. But you have to have... There's a reason that you need, like, a project manager. Because stuff
Xbox just seems so weird. I know, like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that's been coming out is because of, like, they buy Bethesda and then they're actually not allowed to talk to anyone at Bethesda for, like, 3 years for whatever fucking reason. But it is, like, I know we're supposed to be used to this, because it's not even anything new, but it is insane, in an era where games take just so fucking long to make and cost so much, to see like a Redfall get like gassed up as like their big one like first half like AAA release, and then it's a piece of shit, and then literally the next day on a podcast Phil Spencer's like, yeah, actually it was always bad. You're like what are we doing?
Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people who work with Microsoft, like programmers and all of that, and it is just a big issue that things just get really behind schedule, and they bring in outside help and stuff to try and sort some things out, and like a big chunk of that is because stuff just restarts development over and over again.
Yes, yeah, that's
Microsoft is just like, yeah, this is fine.
There's one game in particular I know a friend of mine is working on, and yeah, he was like, yeah, Microsoft's great, they don't talk to us, they just send us millions of dollars if we ask. and then our game has restarted like 4 times.
Yeah, like there has to be some kind of control from Microsoft's end. Like,
I mean, I get it. It's just like how games are made, but it's like the stakes are so much higher now that everything costs so much more, and everything takes so much longer.
It shouldn't be taking 5 years to make something like that. Like, it feels like a lot of wasted time. Obviously, Nintendo fan here, I don't mind things not looking like super graphically intense or anything like that. But like, I back in the day, a lot of older games only had like a year dev time. Like Game Boy Advance games notoriously only took most of them like a year to make.
Well, the other issue is also so many of these games are. Yeah, and then the other issue is that all these games are like trying to be forever games, where they're like 30, 40, 50, 60 out, even more long.
Sea of Thieves has just been keeping Rare afloat for eons now.
Yeah.
as their game gets cancelled and then restarts and cancelled again.
I think that's one of the reasons why I love the Resident Evil games. They're like one of the few franchises that are just putting out fucking $8, like 8-hour games.
Yeah. Like, it's...
And I get it, some people don't think that's worth it, but like, just wait a few months then. Like... Whoa.
I need some water, I think.
Yes, hydrate.
Well, I'm just going to let the day run out in this, because there's no fear of anything going wrong. I've got everything on this map. Well, I go grab myself some water. So I'll be right back.
I'm gonna look at the chat. Herm. How's everyone doing today? Every time I go back on the screen, like my audio is like so crunchy, and I have no idea why. I apologize if I sound awful. I'm on my phone. And usually it's not because I'm on my phone, but it seems very peaky.
There we go, I'm back.
How bad is my audio, by the way? I keep checking onto the stream and it sounds really crunchy.
It sounds alright to me, I think. Maybe a little, slightly, maybe a little crunchy, actually. Because I'm sort of concentrating on the game and you at the same time.
Okay. Apologies to...
Hi, Pichu. Welcome. You sub, you like, thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, it's a little loud on your end. Okay, I'll turn that down.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's just that I'm peaking.
Okay. Turn it down a bit.
Herm.
Keep that water close by.
We like water.
We do like water here.
Anyway, what was I complaining about? What were we going on about?
Games taking too long.
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. I've sort of settled into... I don't have enough time to play as many games as I'd like to nowadays anyway, so I've started just being like... I'm just going to stick with Nintendo stuff. Because...
I've always found it really daunting to start games that are supposed to be like long as fuck.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I didn't mind for Zelda because it's Zelda and I was looking forward to it. But like Pikmin 4 is way longer of a game than I expected it to be. It's like easily twice the length of... I mean, it's not like a 50-hour game or anything like that, but it is like twice the length of the other Pikmin games.
It is so insane how, like, the expectations for games are that, like, oh yeah, they have to be long as fuck now.
Well,
like, I get, like, they have to be prettier, they have to be, like, more visually and, like, mechanically impressive, but, like, where did the fucking, it has to be 1 billion hours long come from, other than, like, Skyrim?
I mean, I think that's your answer there. that. Like,
yeah, I guess it
people are
is
buying
just that,
games
but
that
it's
like
like
100 hours, that are 100 hours long, like Skyrim, and then thinking, oh, well,
it can't be that
it's the
everyone
same
wants
price.
every game to be Skyrim, but I guess that is it. Like, it's just,
it's
really
just a value thing. People like want as much money, want as much
oh yeah.
for their buck, and
I hate that whenever someone's like $1 per hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like if you're one of those people, just play Warframe. Like it's like you'll spend your entire life playing it and you'll spend $0. Like if it's
it's true. Just play.
if we're judging games by how economical they are, then like you should probably be like a free to play like game whale.
That's what I was gonna say. Not a whale, because then you'll spend money. But just a free,
Yeah.
a free-to-play enjoyer, I guess.
Yeah, because it's utterly fucking absurd when people are like, Xenoblade's like 35 hours long. Is that too short? And it's like, you gotta, like, you just gotta stop playing video games.
Don't know what Xenoblade
Or
game
just
you're
start
playing.
renting
It's
these
30 hours
things.
long. Oh no, people on fire. Ah, shit.
I was gonna say, maybe that's it. Maybe we gotta, like,
No.
remind people that you can, like, rent video games.
Can you even rent video games anymore? Where can you rent
I've
video
noticed,
games from?
I've noticed, like, a lot of libraries near me now actually carry, like, quite a lot of video games.
Fair enough. I've not been to a library in a while, so...
Well,
They do that over
this
here.
is my time to shill going to the library.
Go on,
It's
nerd,
great, dude.
play
They give
video
you, like-
games at the library.
They give you free books. Isn't that cool?
Oh shit. Free books? For a limited time.
There actually is, like, I mean, like, the video game stuff is really neat. Like, just some of the places near me just have, like, that's, like, 30 or 40, like, PS5 series, Switch, like, each.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. Well, the first time I saw it, which I think would have been, like, start of the pandemic, is when I first went to, like, a local library, and I was like, oh, they just have Switch games here. But, like, the whole time I was like, why wasn't this always a fucking thing?
Yeah, I mean, it should be.
Yeah, it should be.
I can't say that they do that over here in England, but that's
I
pretty,
would say
that's cool.
yeah, it might be. I mean, I guess it depends on the law of the library.
Yeah, I suppose.
But it seems like it seems like the way a lot of these things happen is that a bunch of libraries will just start collecting one format, and then it just, like, over time it becomes standardized.
Like, I remember when libraries started having DVDs and stuff that you could rent.
Yeah.
So I suppose games isn't too out there.
When they first started getting Blu-rays, there was, like, tons of restrictions on, like, which, like, in my area, which libraries I could go to and which, like, Blu-rays I could rent and how I could rent them. But lately I've been a library fiend, so go check out your local
Go to
library.
your local library for more information.
It costs you, like, nothing, basic. I think, like, the renewal cost is like $10 or something. I don't know. So it's been a while. I just go to the library.
Yeah, if you can get games from there, why not? Like, get for a game.
Yeah. And also movies and books and other media, other
although,
timeless media that people still use.
On that topic, what was that thing recently where people were like, it was like gamers seeing games like Crisps or something, where you just play it and then put it down and then never think or touch it again, and you just play them. They could just consume, basically.
Yeah, the backlog.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I also a lot of libraries just will give you audiobooks. Like, you can just rent audiobooks in a nice little audiobook app.
That's pretty cool.
So you don't have to sign up for Audible or whatever.
Yeah, you can find, I mean, if you know where to look, you can just find free audiobooks online.
Yeah, but
Stuff.
like,
pretty
cool
easily.
public resource that probably deserves more funding.
True.
Yeah. I don't know, check out, if you
Go to your local
take away
library.
anything from this stream, it's check out your local library. or local libraries. because usually it's dependent on county in the U.S.
Okay.
There, you might just be able to. I know in New York, you're also just like, you can just get a library card to any library in the city, even if you don't live in the city.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Just as long as you live in New York, because people come and go.
I think that's kind of the same.
So
thing. Like I was when I moved up to my house like pre-COVID. I did have internet for like the first week, and so I had to go to like the library, and I got a library card, and I'm pretty sure it was because I lived there that I could do it.
Yeah.
There's a library closer to where I currently live now, but I don't think I need a library card for there, actually. It might, unless it's the same library card. I hadn't thought about it. They just let me go in there to read whenever I send my car to the garage. It's like right next to it.
Big recommend to all you media heads out there. Check out your local library.
Alright,
it is cool though. Some of the local places to me, like other than video games, but like a lot of them also start carrying like I was mentioning it earlier, like the stuff like Criterion Collection and Arrow, like all the weird little boutique movie releases, which is great because some of that stuff is like not limited but scarce.
Yeah,
because of just obscurity. I rented a couple of like Arrow collections from this like one library a few weeks ago, and then I was like, damn, these movies rock. How much does this Blu-ray cost normally? And I go on eBay and it was like, rare, out of print, $104. And I was like, holy shit.
Damn.
They're just being able to have the disc, for a brief moment is like pretty cool.
Nice. Alright, I'm on the last area of this crash log. So let's see, I've got 7 days left, so I'm just slightly ahead of what my first attempt was. So let's see if I can get it done in a single day. Maybe 2 days. More likely 2 days. But let's give it a go.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I think, we have talked about this before, but I mean, sort of the thing that does make the whole, like, limited run thing seem so defeatist is that, well, if it's so limited, then you've kind of, like, what is the point of it being a physical copy if it just doesn't really have any of the benefits of, like, why physical media is cool and epic.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that GameFly seems to pre-order a lot of limited run stuff, so you can actually rent those games through GameFly, and that's great. That's like genuinely good.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. I feel like with limited run games, if they just go, we do collector stuff, sure. It's when they try and like throw themselves as being game preservation and all that because it's physical and therefore they take it off the store. Well, it's like, all right, technically yes, but also physical media will die eventually, and by not making it available digitally at all, you're just limiting people's access to it.
Yeah.
And you're only doing that because it's not really about game preservation, it's about selling really expensive collector's editions and stuff. Now,
it's all about selling that tact.
I mean, this is the thing that I'm worried about with all of the games that they announced, that they're all going to be, like, limited edition, as the name suggests. And, like, getting them physically is going to be the only way. I'm sure that won't be it. Like, if all these collections are all, like, available, like, on the eShop and stuff, then great.
They will. Limited. They haven't done anything that's, like, physical only.
Right.
They're not those fucking super rare games or whatever that one Devolver thing was.
No, the Devolver one, yeah.
Whatever that was about. They've never done that because I think they realized that's stupid.
Super rare games I don't mind so much because I think the thing with them is they don't like super rare originals. I mean, I remember when they announced it. Yes, that was really stupid. They didn't really think that through. But I'm pretty sure they went back on I think they went back, and I think you can get those games. No, you definitely can get those games digital, because I have Grapple Dog from them, and that's digital.
Well, definitely not that one Devolver one. That's still physical only,
one
as far as I know.
Only, and that one's really stupid.
I just, like, so such an annoying thing to do.
Yeah, well, it's the fact they also tried to frame it as like, you know, it's a parody. It's like making fun of all these limited companies, and then like they just went and do it anyway. It's like,
yeah,
no, you're not really parodying anything here.
And that game looked cool too. Too bad I'll never play it, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to pre-order a physical. Ridiculous. So stupid.
Let me see you there. Ah, there's the last one. Okay. Yeah, no, that one is. I gotta think what the dev was thinking in that moment. Like, did Devolver just pay out the ass for it, or like?
I think the official explanation was that like, because the game that did before that was Gato Roboto, right? And like that was on like Game Pass and all that, so they didn't really make a ton of money off of it. Because it was just such a small. I mean, it was like a $5 game too. It was like really cheap.
Yeah.
So I think the whole push for this one was like we wanted our follow-up project to actually make money back.
Fair, which is fair.
Which is fair. Like with the idea being that it being physical only will add significantly more value to the game than if you could just buy it digitally. But my counter argument is that no, that is annoying. I get it. I understand if you put an album on vinyl so you can charge $60 for it. I get it. Does make it literally cost more. But guess what? I know better. Just give me. I just want to play your game.
Yeah, it's about like if it was like. So this thing, if it's like physical for a limited time, and then it goes digitally, it's still annoying, but I can like forgive that a bit more. It's when it's like exclusively just digital, never goes exclusively just physical, never goes digital. It's like, well, if I'm not part of this initial run of people who actually pick the game up, I'm just never playing it.
If you think of if any big company did that, it would also be incredibly annoying.
Yeah.
Like, and it is. There's games on the Xbox backwards compatibility program that you cannot buy digitally, but you can if you have the disc, and that sucks. And that's an old game, and that sucks.
That's very weird.
Yeah, well, because it's like licensing, right? Like they can, like if you have the disc, then you have the disc. But if you can't sell the game digitally, then like, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, it is annoying. Like,
yeah, very.
It just does kind of suck. Happened with Metal Gear, Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official video game.
I actually have that game on Xbox as well.
Oh man!
Xbox 360.
Wait, Xbox original or 360?
360. It was my first ever.
You have a rare gem.
I didn't know that was rare. It was. I got it that and Call of Duty 2 with my Xbox 360.
Well, that's the thing. No one expected Xbox 360 games to suddenly become rare collector gems, but
apparently they are. I should look through my Xbox 360 games, see what I got. Got Blue Dragon. Remember that.
I know. I think the rarest Xbox 360 game I have, and it's funny because it's like probably one of the worst games I own. It's Operation Darkness. Which is like a Valkyria Chronicles ripoff by Atlas.
Oh, okay, no, I don't know. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking of a game called Darkness, I think. Just like a first-person.
And whereas in Valkyria Chronicle, you're like indirectly taking on the Nazis in World War II. Because it's like a fake war going on.
Yeah.
Operation Darkness is just straight up about World War II. The final boss is Hitler.
Oh, okay. Fair.
So it's just anime characters taking on.
And it's not the first time that Atlas has done that, so.
No, it isn't. Yeah. It's also like co-op. Like it has like Peace Walker co-op.
Interesting.
And yeah, just one day I was like talking to some friends. I'm like, you guys should go buy a used copy. It's probably like $5. And I went on eBay and it's like times 10. Yeah,
Jesus.
times 60 or something. Just it was like $100.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I should look through my old Xbox games and just see what I've got. I might be surprised.
It's so depressing.
'Cause I don't think, unlike like
it's-
SNES and retro-y games, I don't really think of Xbox 360 and PS3 games unless it's like was rare already, like 3D Dot Hero.
Well, yeah, because a year ago you could you were $1.
Yeah.
So I don't, there was just
CX and it's like
something happened between 2020 and 2023 where just suddenly people just really fucking wanted Xbox 360 and PS3 games.
It's just the next one to try and.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a good thing that like the nostalgia is like accelerating. Like it's like we're finally getting through all these consoles, getting through their rare phases.
Yeah. Do it now.
But I mean, I haven't looked at what NES games cost in a while, so I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean that's been bad for a long. That's always been bad. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it's especially bad over here because like there are some games that obviously sold probably well in America and they were quite common, but weren't over here. Persona 3 I think was a big one because I remember people being like to me, "Oh well, Persona 3 you can find that for like $10 or $20 or whatever over here." This is before, whereas like I've only ever seen it for £100. Like,
yeah, and then you have all
never
those
seen
people
it.
that are like going to Japan to like scavenge their retro scene.
Yeah, well, it's because their retro scene is actually like insanely cheap.
Well, so I've actually heard like two different perspectives on that because I've heard some people that are like, "Wow, that's fucking annoying going to another country and just it is essentially cultural appropriation. Like you are just like stealing like their their own country's like video game history." But I've also heard that a lot of Japanese people don't give a shit because it's all old junk.
Yeah, I mean, that is
They inherently don't care about the plastic as much as we do.
I think Japan has a lot more. But like, there's obviously like the otaku culture that you always see people with like massive collections and stuff. But because I think Japanese houses are generally a lot smaller. This is how I think I was told to me anyway. So that's how I've always remembered it. Because Japanese houses are a lot smaller and but stuff is still being made, consume. People have are less bothered about throwing out stuff that they own and just replacing it with new stuff. And stuff like games and then like anime figures as well is another big one. Stuff like that. They just do it. They don't care. It's like fine. Because I go into Book Off and like seeing like old games or like prototype anime figures. I think I saw like a Josuke from JoJo like beta figure, like one of those ones where before it's been painted and stuff, for like a $5.
Yeah.
In there, which clearly like someone had at some point, but it was probably like a special edition or something, and then they didn't want it anymore. So they just gave it to Book Off, and Book Off sold it. Book Off also has a thing where the price fluctuates. Actually, it's not just Book Off. I think there's loads of. I don't know. I was thinking doing this. That was a big.
I've been to Book Off. There's one in New York City, and then I went to like 2 or 3 of them when I was in Japan. It's a cool ass store.
I love Book Off. It's so good. I was not paying attention. I royally fucked myself over then. Shit. Yeah, I mean, Book Off's like my favorite store in Japan.
Yeah. Anything that has like a billion used DVDs is automatically cool.
It's just like I've got like a copy of Pokemon Green from Japan. Although I need although for that one in particular, I need to replace the battery because that's the other thing with really old games. The battery will just die.
Actually, speaking of Xbox 360 games and like preservation and all that junk, did you hear what happened earlier with Xenia in the week?
No, what happened?
Okay. So there's two versions of Xenia. There's like the master build and there's the canary build.
Let's stop from the beginning. What even is Xenia?
Xenia is an Xbox 360 emulator for PC.
The piracy thing.
Yes.
Right, yes, okay, yes.
So there's a master build and there's a canary build, which I like. The master build is like made by the Xenia devs. The canary build is not by the Xenia devs, but it's a more regularly updated kind of nightly build by a bunch of community members, and like it holds about as much of like importance as the master build, just because like updates, especially like game optimizations, come to it way sooner.
Yeah.
Like if you want to play Red Dead on Xenia, like you're probably downloading a canary build. You're not downloading a master build because it's outdated and old and slow and whatever. Anyway, some guy who works on the canary build updated one of the builds with a new feature, I guess, where if it detected you using an ISO file, which is a disk image file, it would put up a warning that was like, "You probably pirated this, you piece of shit. Stay out of the Discord," and then it would play a loud ass beep on your computer.
Yeah, I heard about the beep. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you kept doing it, it would just like set like a little reg edit to keep beeping whenever you opened Xenia or whatever.
That's insane.
All of that sounds awful. All that sounds purely insane behavior.
Yeah.
And it really, if we had recorded GMSG like the day after this happened, I would have been in like livid mode. I'd be like, how? Like, because it's just so malicious for like no reason.
There is no reason for this. Like,
first off, it's like
I understand the fight against piracy and all that, but it's an emulator. What, like,
yeah. So like all of these, as you can imagine, all of these emulator development teams, like they have Discords.
Yes.
And then people will go into the Discord and they're like, "How do I download Zelda?" And then everyone's like, "Get the fuck out of here," because they don't want to get in trouble. Yeah. But it is very funny. It is extremely funny to be of the attitude of like, if you downloaded this disk image file, it's because you're a dirty fucking pirate or whatever. Yeah. Hey, it's just weird for an emulator to just assume what you're doing depending on the file format you're using. Yeah, especially for ISO, considering that it's the most common like disk image file. Yeah, like if you go to Microsoft's official website and download Windows 11, it's on an ISO.
Right, this is gonna be. I want to try and make this the last day because then I've at least beaten my time from before.
And there was like a lot of stupid, like bullshit attributed to it. Like some of the Xenia like main devs were like, the beep was supposed to raise awareness, but it was too loud. And I was,
would raise awareness to
there.
Who?
It's like whom? And it was annoying too because like this is like they did this on the assumption that if you're using an ISO image of an Xbox game, you probably pirated it, which is insane because basically every program that allows you to rip an Xbox game from your Xbox does it in ISO because it's the most common file, like a disk file format.
It's a disk file, yeah.
I don't know.
That is
just annoying. It's just such like feel.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I did hear about that.
Yeah,
it was whack when I heard it. She's like, "Who hurt you, man?"
But that really just like to do with it. Like there is something just so fucked about happening. Like, what is wrong with you? Why would you?
Yeah, why would you do this? What are you doing?
Why was the immediate response not, wow, that sucked, sorry guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't us, but woof. You know, like...
It's not taking any kind of, I guess, accountability for it.
No, it's very weird.
Very odd behaviour.
Yeah, so now we'll have to wait 20 years for them to make another Xbox 360 emulator. That's not made by fucking any of them.
Mm-hmm. It's just a weird hill.
That's not true.
I understand.
It is a weird hill to die on.
Yeah, it's just odd. Especially for when you
Yeah.
get into like emulation business like this, I suppose, because you sort of like it's going to come with the territory. I know emulation shouldn't be used for that, but people are going to try, and I understand telling people who come into the Discord, no, don't use it for piracy, stop that. Like, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, there's plenty. It's like they just don't know better. It's like they just don't know what. Like no one's given them a tutorial on how to.
They're probably super young.
You know, I get it.
Because like most people, when they first start doing emulation stuff, it's because they're like a kid and they want to play a game that's just not like available. Like the first time I think I ever emulated something is because I wanted to play Final Fantasy III, which they didn't even release in my region.
Yeah.
So
it's honestly just sort of insane how like emulation is still just such a hot button topic in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, everyone who's like really into music is like, yeah, I have like 1 billion MP3s. Like, you kidding me? You know how obscure some shit is? It's just like, same thing with movies. There's just stuff that's like released on DVD in one country and then never seen from again.
Yeah, I think it's because... Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I think it's because video games just has this, like... very toxic company culture. It's like all those people who are, like, saying, oh, I want to see... what's it? I want to see Microsoft buy Sega, that's it.
Yeah.
Sony buy Square, and it's like...
Sega and they made a Crash and Sonic game?
It's like, no, I don't want them to be buying this stuff, in fact.
Yeah, ideally you don't want one company to own, like, a huge chunk of history.
Yeah.
And then it's just at their disposal. Because then you have the Disney situation.
Yeah.
Where they just own everything, and you're like, well, that's a lot of stuff that, it sucks whenever, like, there's, like, you know, like the Clock Tower remaster, and someone's like, yes, Clock Tower is back. And it's like, it's not back, it's just here again.
Yeah.
We gotta stop doing, like, it's like, oh, they can finally make sequels. It's like, no, I just want the thing.
Yeah. And I mean, are they going to finally make sequels? I mean, just because they're remaking this one... Oh, that's why it's not coming out. The spider's got it. Just because they're remaking this one doesn't mean that they're going to get loads of clock towers. Like, I'd love more Advance Wars, and I'd love more Famicom Detective Club, but just because those two games came back doesn't mean I'm expecting suddenly to have a new one, or even more remakes.
God, I wish, but yeah.
And it is kind of redonkulous. Some games, like, alright, when it comes to licensed games, I totally understand why those struggle to get re-released, because of all the licensing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, when it's a company's own game that they fully own, they're just actively choosing not to release it. Especially when they clearly have stuff. Like, Nintendo's actively choosing not to release its entire NES catalogue.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's definitely because it has a plan in place for when it wants to release them. But as it is right now, it's not doing it, so...
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna expect people to be like that. But anyway, I would rather they release everything. Especially like really old stuff, like their really old arcade games that they just don't seem to want to touch anymore.
Isn't it like Like, if you want to look at the footage of Wild Gunman, it's like it's the original Wild Gunman,
Yeah.
not the NES one, the one that's like a video.
Video, yeah.
Like, you have to. It's like the
Yeah.
actual like original like reel and everything is like lost. Like, people have only been able to reconstruct it because it was in movies.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. You have to find footage of people playing it. It's an assumption that Nintendo doesn't have the reel. I have no idea if they do or not. It's hard to know when it's that far back and it was like the first thing they tried, whether or not they thought to keep it.
I assume they have to because like the reel. I mean, there was a copy of the reel in like every arcade game.
Yeah.
So it has to
You'd
be
assume
floating around
someone
out
has
there
it
unless they all
somewhere.
caught fire.
Yeah. Anyway, I've done it. I've beaten the crash log.
Wow.
Didn't do it nearly as fast as I was hoping to, but I guess that's a consequence of trying to stream something and talk and play it at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But I did do it faster than the first time I did it, so it's all about knowing where to go, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. This crash log's actually kind of wild. It's basically just an entire remake of Pikmin 1.
Wild.
Inside Pikmin 4. The only thing it's lacking is the final level. Well, I mean, all the stages are different because it's using the Pikmin 4 maps, but it doesn't have
I
the
love stuff
final
like that.
challenge.
I love how Doom 2016 has like the random old Doom levels in it.
Yeah.
They don't play good, but like it's like they're so
it's
cool.
Just there.
Yeah.
It's fun Easter egg. I just really like this, but this game has loads of modes in it. It's surprising.
Hell yeah.
But there we go. The crash log is done, and I did it in just slightly more longer than the usual Good Morning Source Gaming stream time.
Ooh.
So, yeah, I think. Yeah, we don't need to watch the cutscene. Leave that for people who want to buy the game.
Ooh.
So
yeah, no freebooting.
Yeah.
Go to your local library.
Your local library and rent it out.
Honestly, go to your local library, and if they don't have video games, just like ask them to get video games.
That's the thing I do with books. If they don't have a book, I just ask, and if they can do it with that, they can do it with games.
That will more than likely get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Or, donate your old games.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, just
pass it on to people who want to play it.
Yeah.
But anyway, on with Pikmin, because I'm going to start wrapping this up now because I've done this. Pikmin 4 is great. You should, if you're watching this, you should watch my other Pikmin videos if you somehow haven't before and you decided to start on this stream. I'm going to put them all into a playlist so that you can easily watch them in order that I release them all. But this is the end of Pikmin month. Hopefully it doesn't take a decade for the next Pikmin thing to come out.
Yeah.
Miyamoto's going on about how he's surprised the series isn't bigger. It sort of makes me think that their plans at Nintendo are to really push the Pikmin and try and build them up into like an A-tier franchise. Which I guess they're like on the cusp of being at this point. We'll just need to see how well Pikmin 4 sells, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for it. So anyway, I'm gonna move over to the credits.
Wow.
Play from the start. Wait, don't play from there.
Yeah, it was fun coming on here and shooting the shit for however long this was.
The usual.
It doesn't actually feel like it was that long.
No, it was fun. We just talked on about whatever came to mind. No,
hell yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for
it's like Good Morning Source Gaming,
yeah,
baby.
Exactly.
Pew, 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 pew.
Alright, anyway, our patrons are all on screen right now, the $5 up. I'm just going to let this video...
They're all lovely people.
They are indeed all lovely people helping us do what we do. So yeah.
We gotta give them all a Source Gaming pat on the noggin.
Go back to the... Keep the patron... No. Man, XSplit has been really winding me up recently.
Damn.
There we go. They're back up. Alright. Anyway, thanks everyone who did watch this live, and yeah, if you're watching from the VOD, continue watching. We appreciate you being here. Subscribe, and always remember to return to the source.
Yes.